First couple of weeks here on the job has been almost a whirlwind for me, to be honest with you. I've never attended so many meetings in my life in a 2-week span. Some of that is meetings that I normally would attend, but I have attended several meetings with different units and groups within the department to let them know my vision for the department and some of the tenets that I want to follow and moving forward and progressing forward. I wanted to get a good feel for what they thought that needed changes that needed to be made within the department, and I've even gone so far as to ask them to write out a quick description of what they think their job description is, and it's been interesting just to see the different responses that you get. So I'm using that information not for anything other than to kind of use it as a guide for where I want to go.
Describe your management style.
I have a couple different styles. I guess everybody really, you have to have a couple. Depends on who you're dealing with. I really like going democratic a little bit. In some instances, I like getting people's input. I feel that if you get input, then the buy-in is a lot quicker. There are certain times when things are going on and you have to be a little more demanding, I guess, and make quick decisions on your own without anybody's opinion in some tight situations, and I can move back and forth between those quickly, but generally I like the input. I also like leading, mentoring people. I like succession planning, getting them ready for the next step. You know, I'm not going to be here forever. Some of these lieutenants aren't going to be here forever. We got to make sure that somebody's ready to step up when positions are available.
All right. Talk about coming to a smaller community. You were in a 70, town was what, 70,000? Now you're down to 15. So.
Yeah, it was a little over 68,000. Yeah. It has been just a little culture shock for us, my family and I, but I tell you, it's been nice. It's been a pleasant surprise for us at how nice everybody seems to be. You know, we're not really used to walking through a grocery store, so to speak, and have people just say hello to you. You know, kind of scared my kids at first. They were like, "What do they want from us?" You know, we haven't had that where we were at. So it's been a pleasant surprise and a welcome change for us.
All right, and talk about some things you've already working with the superintendent about trying to get the police department and school system integrated. So talk about that process a little bit and what you hope to accomplish with that.
Yeah, there's a few things. I know even during my interview process that was kind of brought up that we weren't working as closely with the school district as maybe we should be, and that was one of my goals when I got here. But to be honest with you, I think they'd already started some of that before I got here. We have an officer we're going to make pretty much our community police officer. Right now it's kind of a ancillary position until we get the manpower to move her over full time.
Is that Lauren?
That's Lauren, yeah. Officer Matthews. And she's been doing a great job so far, instituting some of these drug awareness programs, and I've been looking into maybe doing a skate with a police type night, and we've looked into renting the skating rink and having officers out there and inviting the community out so they can skate for free and be with officers and just things like that.
Can you talk more about the drug program and the video and all that's instituted in there?
Yeah, I got to be honest with you. I'd never heard of this program until I got here, and it has different pamphlets that come with it that explain, you know, the different type drugs and some of the results from those drugs, and there are some fairly powerful videos that come along with it. And I went with Officer Matthews, Assistant Chief McLean, Lieutenant Music, and I went to a principals meeting, and Officer Matthews presented this and played some of the video, and it's powerful. It's powerful. So I can't wait to get it out there. Can't wait.
Obviously, want to present more of a visible, positive attitude about police in the community. Not that it's got a bad image in Chickasha, because a recent survey showed that you know, the residents support the police department, but how do you plan on making that approach?
I think you always have to continue to make strides in that area. Chickasha has shown a lot of support for us. I think Friday alone, we had the prayer vigil for us. Later on this afternoon, 2 different children arrived at the PD, unbeknownst to anybody that were coming, and brought cards and brought other things. A couple days ago, 2 little girls and their mom showed up with a bunch of cookies and Powerades for the officers. I mean, just things like that. I mean, it leaves me shaking my head. You know, I'm not used to that. It's refreshing, but we do have to continue to go out and be in the community, be visible in the community. I want to reinstitute the Citizens Police Academy. I want to institute a teen police academy here in the summer. There's some programs like that I'm really looking into, and it really, if nothing else, builds a bond between the community and the police department.
And how do you feel about being open with information about investigations, things like that, arrests?
Well, I mean, there's certain things that I can't talk about, but if it's, if it's available for public record, I'm more than willing to give it out. There are certain times that we can't, if it's an active investigation, those type of things that I can't, but I believe in being transparent. Yeah, I know with every story that maybe doesn't shed, you know, some people say that Chickasha has a bad image in the media because they're showing things that go on in Chickasha. Well, to that I say, well, a lot of the things that you see are also associated with an arrest made in Chickasha. So, you know, it's kind of a half glass full. Which way are you looking at it? I do believe though that we have to do a better job, and by we I mean me and the department in the city, and getting out things that are going on here that are positive, so that it's not just a negative message that you hear.
Major McLean's been a great leader over the last year as acting chief or interim chief, and he's still a big part of the administration. He'll be assistant chief.
Right.
Talk about his role with the department a little bit.
Well, he plays a big role in some of our tech services areas. He plays a big role in public records requests. You know, he right now he's still playing a major role that he was playing before. I'm still learning. You know, it takes a while to get the ins and outs of what's going on, and I lean on him a lot for a lot of different things. But he has a vital, integral part. He's done a great job, and I hope he stays as long as I do, at least.
And talk about your concerns about the feelings about law enforcement in general across the country. We're seeing a lot of attacks on police and sheriff's deputies, law enforcement, and that's got to be a concern.
Yeah, it's a big concern. There was a story today I watched on the news before I came in where somebody made a 911 call to a dispatcher and said that they were going to kill police officers when they saw them sitting alone. It's going to be shots fired, and things like that just make me sick. You know, these men and women are out every day putting their life on the line. Half the things they do, nobody ever even hears about, and then for them to be, you know, threatened and attacked like that, it's terrible. It's terrible on them. It's terrible on their families. But one thing I will say, that most of them, when they hear stuff like that, it actually heightens their resolve to do the job that they had signed on for, and they'll continue doing it to the most professional manner that they can.
So it's tough for someone that wants to get into law enforcement hearing all these issues and things. So
yeah,
what do you say to the young teens, old teens, you know, high school graduates, college grads that are wanting to get into law enforcement career? How do you reinforce their
it is a tough sell for it now. I mean, there was a point in time where people were knocking down the door to be police officers. I always believe though that there's a group out there that it's their calling. I felt like I was called since a little boy to do it. I do know that there are some out there that still feel like that, and you know, we want to tap into them. We want We want to make sure that they know that when they come here, they're going to have the best equipment available to them, the best training, and we'll do everything we can to give them every opportunity to succeed out there. But it's a little tougher to recruit people nowadays, it really is.
You got a great headquarters here that just opened up. Were you expecting anything like this when you applied for the post?
No, not really. I walked in to do my interview and they gave me a quick tour and I was amazed, to say the least. They did a great job here. It's beautiful. It's beautiful, and I know that the men and women that work here really appreciate it too.
Has you got enough, everything that you need to do investigations and handle
It does.
And
It does. There are some things that I'd like to see happen, but you know, that'll come with time. And but I mean, for the most part, I'm not complaining at all. This place is beautiful. So yeah, I'm pleased. We have two people selected to be the canine officers. In fact, that's where Assistant Chief McLean is right now. They're dropping off, I believe, one of our vehicles for canine. They're going to start working on it now. The dogs are here. They're in school. They're in doggy school, and when they've completed that, then the dogs and the handlers will go a class together. So, probably within 60 days, we'll have canines out on the street.
How long is the canine class?
40 or 45 days for the dogs, and then it's a week or 2 weeks for the two together.
Now, are these dogs that you purchased, or how did you obtain the animals?
These dogs were purchased. They were purchased, and they're puppies, and they're brought in. I say puppies; they're not full grown, and you know, they're brought in. They were checked for their personalities to see if they were a fit, and we're moving with it. And that's another issue that the school district was really happy. They were talking about the lack of dogs that we had, and now, I mean, this program's on its way. It's coming, so within 60 days we should have it.
And where did you get the dogs?
From Europe, I know that. Yeah, they were flown in. So,
Wow.
yeah. And as far as the bike units, they're going to be working at the Rib Fest also. I know we don't have a bike unit per se, but they do it as like an ancillary duty. So we're going to have them out.
And then the Rock Island Arts Festival coming up too, 1st of October.
Yes,
So
yeah.
that would be.
We'll put them out. I
Sure.
mean, anytime. You know, that's another great. I mean, it's good for enforcement, but it's great for that
Public
community
relations.
policing. Yeah, just to see them, you're able to talk to them a little easier. So it's great. It's great to be seen like that.